Hello and welcome to Forever Rugby on Forever Sports for today's EPCR Investing Champions Cup Round 1 review. What a phenomenal round of rugby we did. A couple of very big results, very interesting matches that took place, and a bit of a good advertisement to just what the competition can produce, because I think some performances, some results were quite unexpected, some results were quite expected, but yeah, as well as a couple of draws, for example, some nail biters, some last minute wins, and it was just a great weekend of rugby, both Champions and Challenge Cup. And I think if every single weekend were to match the standard and the excitement that we saw in the last couple of days, then I think we're in for a pretty exciting tournament, which all obviously culminates in London 2024 at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium next year. Both finals taking place over there. Right, now before we look at some of the results, please do smash like on the video. Please do subscribe to the channel as well. And also looking a little bit at the fixtures for this weekend, because it's another blockbuster weekend ahead of us. But let's get into it, shall we? Right, so things all started off on Friday night, where we saw the Northampton Saints downing Glasgow Warriors away from home. So it's a very good win for Northampton Saints, because I've been very impressed with Glasgow this season. In fact, I think they could very well be one of the favourites for the URC. And so I was impressed with that result, because, I think, Glasgow Warriors at home are a tricky side to beat. We then saw Connacht being absolutely hammered by Union Bordeaux and Begley, which is, again, at home is a pretty big result, because Connacht, they're an Australian side, though. To be fair, I think, obviously, we know that they are the weaker of the four Irish provinces, but I still rate a lot of their players. I still rate the side that they've got. So that would not have been an ideal start to proceedings. What a win this was. Exeter Chiefs beating Toulon on Saturday. This is where this competition gets so exciting. And as Slade with a phenomenal late kick to down Toulon, probably a big clutch moment. And yeah, he said matches like this is what makes this tournament so much fun, because you've got powerhouses that can be brought down by teams on the rise, teams you don't really sort of back. And probably the result of the weekend, really. And again, a bit of a nail biter. Bath getting a very comfortable victory over Ulster. I don't think people thought it would be that comfortable. So it shows you just how good this Bath side are. More to the point, the Premiership this weekend really flexing their muscles when you think of Northampton Saints getting the win, think of Exeter Chiefs getting the win, think of Bath getting the win, and we'll go look at some of the other sides as well. Toulouse hammering Cardiff. Probably a result expected. This Toulouse side is full of quality. Full of quality. And very much showed that against Cardiff this weekend. But what a result this was for the Bulls. First of all, dreadful game from the Saracens in terms of ill-disciplined, a red card, 2 yellows. They were really in the game, far too many penalties. So it was really poor from them. But the Bulls, I'll tell you what, I think early talks about favourites, I think that Bulls at Loftus will be incredibly hard to beat. And I think depth-wise, I think they've got a quality world-class side. I think they show. I mean, this is the Saracens, who are one of the greatest club-level teams of all time. And the Bulls put them away quite easily. In fact, they allowed Saracens to come back in, which is maybe a bit of a worrying sign. But how dominant they were, especially in that first half and early second half, was a big warning sign to other teams. And then we had a draw. Munster 17, Avranbane 17. Not a result I don't think too many people would have predicted. A draw in rugby is very rare. So it makes things quite exciting. And then another really close game. Once again, the Premiership side, Bristol Bears, getting one over Lyon. A fantastic game as well. Also going down to the wire, nice and close. And these are the sort of the games that really make us rugby fans. These too close to calls, not one-sided affairs. And then once again, a Premiership side getting one over a French side in the Sale Sharks, pulling apart Stade Francais. And so a very impressive victory for them. It's interesting that the Premiership sides just did get the better of the top 14 sides, and even away from home in the case of Exeter Chiefs. And then a couple of games, really cool games right at the end. We had a repeat of the final where Leinster showed their quality. It was a good game, actually, versus La Rochelle, and to beat them away was a pretty big statement. This, for me, was a really cool result from a Stormers perspective, because I was really impressed with how the Stormers played. It was a really young Stormers side, or really inexperienced Stormers side, very second-rate in inverted commas, where Leicester had their stars. They had their, Andre Porter was man of the match. Ben Young's playing there. Julian Montoya captaining, Jasper Wiese playing, Freddie Stewart in the back at fullback. So they had a really good side. And the Stormers side, I mean, Yuri Mattia on debut for the Stormers, not just in the Champions Cup, but for the Stormers as a team, as a young 23-year-old, and stood tall. And they scored a good drive right at the end at Leicester Tigers. So maybe that sort of, makes the result look a lot worse than it was for the Stormers, who were in that right up until the 80th minute. And then the game of the weekend, Racing for me, Racing 28, Harlequins 31. Some great rugby, lots of very cool moments from the South Africans. Andre Esterhuizen getting over, for example. Siya Kolisi, what a play he is, absolutely storming his way around that field. A great round of rugby. And in terms of this weekend, well, some very cool games as well. Saints versus Toulon. Stormers versus La Rochelle is going to be a fantastic game. Really cool to see that. Lyon coming over. The Bulls obviously going over to Lyon. Leinster hosting Sale Sharks should be a nice game. Ulster versus Rasu should be a nice game. So a couple of decent fixtures to look forward to this weekend. Let me know what you thought about the weekend of rugby, as well as who really impressed you down in the comments below. Please do smash a like on the video. Please do subscribe to the channel as well. Thank you very much for watching. My name is Steve. I'll chat to you soon.